So this is Phlex latest product. Like many products before it, it can track all your metrics during your training session. But unlike others in the past, this is actually accurate and it's really affordable. And it's something I wished I'd used a lot earlier in my swimming journey. And today I wanted to make a video where I talk to you about a load of products that make swimming much easier or you much faster. This is my top 12 products to be a better swimmer. If you're new here, I thought I'd give a bit of background on me. I'm Sonny, the swimsuit guy, and I've been both a competitive swimmer and a coach for many years. As a swimmer, I've competed at Olympic trials, and as a coach, I've had athletes go on to win medals all the way at World Championships and Commonwealth Games, but also at an age group level at things like counties and regionals. I made this channel to make swimming a much more enjoyable sport, making content such as reviews, vlogs, and even insightful pieces into how you can be a better coach or swimmer. Today's video is all about accessories, equipment, and other swim products that you as a swimmer will really benefit from, and I'm going to take you through a range today that I think I would hate to be without as a competitive swimmer. If you don't already subscribe to this channel, I'd really appreciate if you do hit that button, and I really do think you enjoy the content I put out. I've packed this bag here with all the greatest and latest swim tech and accessories that I think no swimmer should be without. And I think it would be rude for me to not start this video by talking about the backpack I've got everything in, because I've had this backpack 5 or so years. I've been sent backpacks from all the major swim brands like Speedo, TYR, Arena, and this is the one that I always go back to. It is pretty beaten up right now, but it is just absolutely great. And it's the Finis Rival backpack. It costs $89.99, and it's just great. It has this hard back that you can put a laptop and have it protected in. It's got multiple pouches, such as this side zipper. This is great for sticking a roller in. This is great for keeping wet swim equipment in. And it's got 2 main compartments that you can have all your swimming accessories in as you go. And talking of swimming accessories, I think most people will care about what goggles they should get. And I know as a young swimmer, I went back and forth through so many goggles for so many years. And these 2 goggles, I think, are the absolute recommendations that you will be very happy if you have either of. My main go-tos are the Arena Cobra Ultra Swipes. They're comfy, they're fast, they're hydrodynamic, they don't fog up, well, especially for the first however long of their life cycle with the swipe technology, but they are very expensive. And that's why I've got a second alternative, which is the Arena Swedix goggles. These are a third of the price at an £18 retail, but you can get them much cheaper from different stores on the market. And compared to the £64 price of the Arena Cobra Ultras, £18 is next to nothing. And when paired with a product like Arena's anti-fog spray, you basically get the swipe technology and a great, comfy training and racing goggle all in once. Between the Swedix and the Cobra Ultra, I don't think you have to look at any other goggle options. But if you prefer another goggle, let me know down in the comments, and I'll definitely think about reviewing that in the future if I haven't already. On top of talking about goggles, it makes no sense to not be training with a swim cap. And if you're going to get a swim cap, I can only recommend my own merch. So check out my website, www.theswimsuitguy.co.uk, to check out my awesome The Swimsuit Guy caps. And they're probably the cheapest thing in this whole video, coming in at just £7.50, shipped to anywhere in the UK. Now, I wouldn't be the swimsuit guy if I didn't talk about some swimsuits. So I've got my pick of both training suit, racing suit for sprinters, and racing suit for everyone else in the bag. And when it comes to training suits, I love the Arena line of products. Not only are they made from responsible, recycled materials, but they're super comfy and they last a long time. Their team line is really affordable at £21 a pair, and it's clean, solid, and I just really like wearing them. And they have some more fancy Icons models that cost just a little bit more, like this £28 briefs here. Again, love wearing them, and if you're going to get any training briefs, these are the ones that I go to wearing and would recommend. When it comes to racing, I think there's probably 2 main options that I'm currently into. And one is for sprinters and one is for middle distance and beyond swimmers. But my ultimate sprint suit right now is the Mizuno GX Sonic 5 ST, the suit that I have right here in my hands, and it is an absolute steal. You have to import it from Japan, but it's the ultimate sprint suit. It has hamstring taping, which basically kicks for you, dual layering for extra buoyancy, and super hydrophobic materials with solid welded seams and great water repellency. If you do 200-meter events and above, or just a range of options, then I would recommend going for this suit, the Arena Japan Aquaforce MF, or Motion Free. Again, it has this really cool waxy material, awesome aesthetic in this navy with red logo, and it's just super comfy, super flexible, and an all-round winner of a suit. Again, this one doesn't even have an international distributor in America, so you're going to have to import it from Japan with the likes of Buyee. But the retail price of both these Japanese suits is so much less than all of the other international options that we have in the UK. This one has a retail of 28,600 Japanese yen, which is about 160 British pounds, and this one's 30,000 Japanese yen, so about 180 British pounds. For these to be the best suits that I'm recommending you at such a steal, I just can't see how any other suit could make this list, and that's why we're talking about them here today. The last two products are a perfect segue to today's sponsor, and I can't say I've had a sponsor of this channel that is any more suited. This really is perfect, and I'm talking about the service provided by Buyee, a Japanese company who basically purchase products from Japan to a warehouse and then ship them internationally to someone like me in the UK. And they are partnered with a bunch of different services. So if we look on their website here, we have Yahoo Japan Auction, Yahoo Japan Shipping, Mercari, Rakuten, Rakuma, there's wholesale, but the best one for me is just Yahoo Japan Shopping, and that means you can get brand new suits with the likes of the Arena Aquaforce MF, the suit I've just talked about, for 25,000 yen. So that's under retail now. The sprint suit I recommended, Mizuno GX-Sonic 5 ST. I mean, there's one here for £119, one for 122. These are unreal prices. And you can then even go and have a load of fun. And I might make a dedicated video on this, but go on the Yahoo Japan Auction. It's like eBay in Japan. And look, with an hour to go, we have a GX Sonic Neo SL, great suit. Check out my review up here. But it's 2,100 yen right now. That's 13 British pounds, an hour to go. I mean, I might go and bid on that myself. And the best bit is that if you use the link in the description below, you get 10% off your first order, up to 5,000 yen of savings. Tell me that's not the deal of a century, and tell me this is not the best sponsor we've had on the channel. Use the link in the description below to get 10% off your first purchase of Buyee and get the best value in suits for the best possible suits you can buy. Thanks for sponsoring the video, and back to my top 12 list. Next up, I want to talk about this little gadget here, and it's called the Finis Tempo Trainer. Now, I think that Finis could probably update this for a sleeker design, but the principle is pretty sound. You stick it under your cap or use the goggle clip, and it, well, does nothing more than just beep. The beeps can be set in a multitude of ways. The way I would recommend it for is to set to a certain stroke rate. So you know basically when swimming, when your hands have to hit the water to hit a certain stroke rate. And why is that important, you may ask? Well, if you're swimming a 200 freestyle, for example, you want to be able to hold a 42 stroke rate for the whole race. If you're swimming a 50 freestyle, you want to be able to hold a 60 stroke rate. What does a 60 or a 42 or a 50 stroke rate feel like? Well, it's hard to know. And that's where the Tempo Trainer comes in. You set it to that stroke rate, and you can swim 25s at a 60 stroke rate or 50s at a 42 stroke rate and get comfortable with the pacing that's going to be successful for you in a swimming race. It's £50, which may seem expensive for a little disc, but the usability of this and the longevity, but just by replacing its little batteries, is going to be priceless if you want to be a successful competitive swimmer. Sticking with different training aids, and I know what it's like when you're being told by your coach you need to get a pair of paddles or fins, or yours break and you need to go into the market and delve deeper to get some more. But when it comes to these sorts of equipment, I think there are absolute best options. And when it comes to paddles, I think you should look no further than the TYR Catalyst Stroke. These are not only trendy in design with their clear plastic builds, but they come in I think 8 different size options. And if you look at any pro swimmer, they will have more than one pair of paddles for different things. So you might get a pair of TYR Catalyst Stroke paddles that are on the smaller end for things like sculling and breaststroke and butterfly, where you might have a bigger size like this large here for using for sprint and power work, while you might have a medium for longer pull sets. These are the best paddles. They're a great shape. They're super comfy. They come with straps so you can get them in on different hand positions, and they will make you stronger, better at pull. What more do you want from a pair of paddles? That's why they made my list. For fins, I do also really like TYR's option, but I've gone for the Arena Powerfin Pro. Some people might argue that the Tech 2 option is better, but they're much harder to get, and that's why I went with the Arena fins, because they're the most obtainable, well-priced, high-quality, long-lasting fins you can get that make you faster, work your leg strength, and it's no surprise that when you go to a pro meet, most people you see wearing a pair of these Arena fins. They're great, they've stood the test of time, and I really do recommend them. As important as fins and paddles are, I think the snorkel is one of the most vital pieces of training equipment. It's definitely my favorite, and there's a lot out there. A lot have the little purge valves at the bottom, don't get one of these snorkels, and some even have the cardio caps, which I personally have never really used. But this snorkel is from a brand called Ylon-A, and it's a little lesser known, but they are the best snorkels. Just like I said, when you go to a pro meet, you see people wearing the Arena Powerfin Pros. If you go to an international meet, this is the snorkel that everyone's wearing, and for good reason. It's simple, it works, it does the job, but it's really stable in the middle of your head, so you can go fast, slow, and anywhere in between, and it's not shaking around or leaking. You can buy this from Swim Outlet using my affiliate link in the comments section below. Check it out, and this is the absolute snorkel that's on my list today. My next swim accessory is for the coaches watching this video, and this is my favorite stopwatch. It doesn't come cheap at about 160 British pounds, but this Japanese made Seiko is just that much better than all the others. Like any other coach starting out in their career, I went through Finis and other cheap stopwatches I found on the market. And at first you think, well, that's great, I can get one for 40 quid that pretty much looks the same as this Seiko. But after about 6 months, when some of the digits aren't displaying properly, or it just outright breaks, you know why the best coaches in the world use Seiko, and this really does stand the test of time. It's worth investing the extra money in if you think you're going to be a coach for many years, which I'd like to think you will be. The only thing I will say when it comes to the Seiko stopwatch is don't do what I did and leave it at British Championships, because you will go home crying and have a big hole in your pocket afterwards. If you've been watching this whole video waiting to hear more about the product I started this video with, then it's this new Phlex product, which is actually built around a Polar Verity Sense module, which is a heart rate sensor with custom firmware on, designed by Phlex. This is actually World Aquatic approved, so you can now wear this in races to get more metrics from your race than your coach can provide you. It comes in this awesome little goggle strap that you just pop it in, but I personally like just sticking it under my cap, and it's really unobtrusive. I've had so many wearables over the years, such as Flex's previous product, the Edge, but they were too big and bulky, and they just made me feel a little bit claustrophobic in training, especially when it comes to the goggle options like Form. But this is so small you barely think it's there, and it gives you so much accurate data. It syncs with my phone after a training session. It tells me how many meters I've done, what times I went for every interval and repetition. It tells me my heart rate all the way through the session, and even my distance per stroke on each part of the set. It's become one of the most valuable tools in my arsenal, and it's really well priced again versus previous options. This unit is essentially $160 for the first year, and $90 a year going after that to keep the subscription going. Basically, at the beginning, you pay $70 for the unit and $90 for the year subscription. That means for $160, I don't even know what that is in British pounds, like 120, you've got this epic device that can do just so much. And whether or not you're a swimmer, asking your coach to be able to wear one of these, or a coach urging your swimmers to use one, I just don't see how this doesn't fit in most club environments all around the world. I know for a fact that one of the best age group programs, the Sandpipers of Nevada, have been using this for quite some time now. While all the previous training aids on my list are from big brands, this last one is one that you have to DIY and make yourself, but it also means it's really cheap. And it's the best resistance tool that any swimmer can have. I've had my swimmers make all sorts of iterations. Some used cool belts like this neon pink thing that makes it really easy to attach. But the long of it is you get a shower loofah, you tie it to some rope, and then have a way to fasten it around your waist. Some people literally tie a knot on some basic rope every day, while others have a belt like this. It's the perfect amount of resistance, and I've used this with world-class swimmers in my coaching career. Every swimming club and every swimmer in the world should use these. I think this can be assembled for less than £5. And there you have it. If we're counting individual items, the 12 absolutely essential swim accessories, equipment, tech that every competitive swimmer should have. And If you have any of these products and love them, let me know. And if you're gonna go out and buy them, again, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want more content just in this fashion, please do subscribe to the channel. And if this is not your first time here and you want to support me that little bit extra, you really should check out my merch on my website, such as this awesome t-shirt. I'm going to do a little spin for you that I'm wearing right now with this awesome comic book design on, as well as a range of training plans that can meet your requirements to make you a faster swimmer, be it you're an age grouper or a master swimmer. Once again, thanks for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.